Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week. So we're going to talk about Switzerland, Rach.
Ooh.
I mean, we've been to Switzerland a few times on holiday.
We've driven through.
We've stopped as well in a few places.
Have we? We
Yeah.
slept in a service station car park in the back of the van.
Okay, well, maybe that's what we're going to class as visiting Switzerland.
We couldn't afford the hotel. Do you remember when we went for food and we had some soup and bread rolls and we hadn't quite got enough money and we had to put a bread roll back?
Yeah, Switzerland is an expensive place. It's all about the money in Switzerland, isn't it?
It is.
And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about Switzerland's dirty secrets.
Does it have any dirty secrets?
Well, I mean, so the article that we're reading is about is it Hans Ziegler or Jean Ziegler?
Well, his name is Hans Ziegler by birth, but he changed it to Jean.
That's like his.
He was suggested by Bouvier
Yeah.
to change it to Jean because it was more sounded more sort of
Sophisticated.
yes. Because
Yeah,
he was writing.
as a sort of writer.
Yeah.
It just sounded a little bit more sophisticated.
Okay.
But he's had a very interesting life. I mean, he met Che Guevara.
Yeah, he was his chauffeur, and then spent
Yeah.
nights drinking with him.
Yeah. I mean, Che Guevara is still an iconic symbol, iconic character even today. I mean, many, many years after he died.
People have T-shirts with Che Guevara on, but they don't have T-shirts with Jean Ziegler on the front.
No, or Hans Ziegler. But,
Yeah.
because outside of Switzerland, perhaps no one really knows who Hans Ziegler is.
No.
But he had a very interesting life. He's very, very critical about the Swiss system, the Swiss government, and the what he calls the dirty little secrets.
It's a very long article, and it is called The Long Read, and it's got some very advanced vocabulary. You know, I was reading it, I had to pause to reread some of the words. So if you're an advanced speaker, then, you know, there's some really good vocabulary in there for you.
Yeah.
If you're more of an intermediate, I would definitely recommend you still read it, just so that you get a flavour and essence of the story. Don't pause when there's words you don't know, but see if you can actually gather some understanding of what the story is, because it's a great story about politics, about business, about money.
Yeah. I mean, there were one or two words where we had to pause and think, what does this word mean in this context? And we're going, we're not totally sure.
And right at the end, it talks about offence.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean... Well, it does. It means a fence in terms of a boundary line or a boundary. But a person who is a fence is somebody who deals in stolen goods. So takes them from the person who stole them to sell them on for them.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of, it says double entendre, which is a lovely French word, but we also have in English, which means double meaning. Yeah. So you've got a fence meaning the literal boundary, and a fence to be if you're, governor, I'm a fence. I can fence your goods for you. You know, I can sell your stolen goods.
So was that you acting, Rach?
Just a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, the fence is the person that you take your stolen goods to sell them on.
Yeah.
And he was talking basically about the bankers of Switzerland acting as fences in a sense for sort of, corruption around the world, whether it's governmental corruption or business corruption.
Yeah, he said letting them hide all their money there, or hide behind property there, or
hiding behind the secrecy laws. Money is revered in Switzerland, and it has so much protection and secrecy. Yeah.
But the article says, Switzerland promotes itself as a country of neutrality, of prestige, of good democracy. But this guy says, but behind doors, you have your sticky little paws in the finances of everything that is going wrong in the world. All the wars, all the death, all the poverty, all the corruption.
Yeah.
And it's quite
It's
a
all
damning
financed.
story.
It's all financed through Switzerland, according to
Yeah.
this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, there's one bit, it says where Switzerland doesn't have any ports, but it deals in ships. Ships are booked and logged from Switzerland. And it's like crazy. There's no, it's landlocked.
Yeah. But the ownership of the ships, I suppose, because of the tax sort of breaks that they get.
Coffee, 60 to 70% of coffee.
The world's coffee.
Is traded through Switzerland.
Yeah. And before the invasion of the Ukraine, all of Russia's crude oil was traded through Switzerland.
Yeah, but now that's gone to Dubai.
Dubai, yeah. So, wow, imagine how much money the Swiss have lost because they can't trade Russians' oil.
They'll be making it some other way, won't they?
Oh, yeah, of course they will, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose when you're in that kind of industry, you know how to always make money. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But thinking sort of, further back in history, there's always been the debate about sort of Switzerland's dealings with the Nazis. Mm-hmm. And, providing banking services for all those, high-level Nazis, even when it was supposed to be neutral. Mm-hmm. But also, I think in some cases, I don't know the entire details, but I think Switzerland banks sometimes gave up the assets of Jewish customers because they were frightened of what the Nazis might do if they didn't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So there's neutrality and there's neutrality.
Well, I suppose there's, can a country be neutral? Is money neutral? Can you separate the country from the money? Can you separate the people from the country from the money?
No, I don't know. Money's not neutral. The money that flows into Switzerland is usually secretive and it's, well, in my view,
business.
Business, yeah.
It's a bit mafioso, isn't it?
Yeah. But not just business, because he also talks about I think he mentioned the Portuguese government, which, funnily enough, did you know that the Portuguese nationalist government was the longest in Europe?
No.
So even after Franco's demise in 1972, there was still a Nazi government in Portugal until I think 1975.
Wow.
Yeah, which is interesting. And the Swiss banks did business with Portugal.
The Swiss banks seem to do business with anybody who'd got some money.
Yeah.
Because money makes money.
They don't care where the money comes from.
No. Are we just saying that because we haven't got money?
I don't know. We could be.
Because we did have a conversation the other day and I said, well, if you had some money, I have all these fantastic ideas of things I want to do, but I don't have, the time or the capacity to do them all. And sometimes they need a little bit of money. That if I had some money, I could do all my ideas because I would delegate tasks. I would get people in to carry out them. Yeah. So I was thinking those people who are entrepreneurs who have some money, they can easily make more money, but when you don't have any money in the first place, you're sort of stuck. It's like a ceiling you can't break through.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Money just gives you more opportunity and makes things easier to achieve.
So were they greasing the palms of influential people by saying, oh, come and have a bank account in Switzerland?
Well, you got to grease the wheels somehow, I suppose.
We couldn't even afford 2 bread rolls, Paul.
How many years ago was that in Switzerland?
We were driving from Italy to England, and we used to call through Switzerland, and we used to stop there at Bellanosa. And we used to stop at Bellanosa but we didn't. We went and had soup, 2 bowls of soup and 2 bread rolls. Couldn't afford it. Put a bread roll back. Yeah. And then we decided just after Bellanosa, when you go into France, there was a great place to get ham and cheese on toast.
Yeah,
which
so
we went there instead
because it was cheaper.
But we used to sleep over, and it was because we used to like the sound of the cows. You could hear the cows with the bells.
Yeah,
couldn't you, in the morning?
Yeah. Quite nice.
Yeah, but we couldn't afford it. Oh dear, such an expensive country.
Yeah, that would have been 25 years ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
when we're doing things like that.
It would.
Anyway, I highly recommend this article. It is a long read. It's more, I wouldn't say autobiography. It was definitely biographical about this guy.
It was a long read for us to read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will admit, it was a challenging read for us to read.
Yeah.
So, but
very interesting.
Yeah, it makes you think about, his books. He's wrote over 30 books.
Yeah, and he's had a very interesting life, this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's nearly 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Apparently, the Swiss don't like him very much because he's very critical about the Swiss.
Yeah, they've sued him.
system.
He's practically bankrupt. He's like millions and millions of pounds.
In debt.
Everybody sued him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he spoke up. You don't want to stick your head above the parapet. That's what we say in English. Because if you stick your head above the parapet, they shoot at you.
Yeah.
But then you can also say, well, if they're shooting at you, you must be doing something right. Yeah.
So let's leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast. And please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.